tuning into a special edition SC Sports World. It's been a long time, but we're back. Check us out, scsportsworld.com. Luther Dupree, of course, joined by my partner, Mike Vick. A lot of things have been going on, Mike. Tell the viewing audience what you've been up to. It's been a long time since we've been on the air, and we have a special guest in the house as well.
Yeah, as usual, we're highlighting the positive things in our community. And we're so happy to bring on Jeff Smalls today. I was fortunate to meet him a little more than a month ago. And he lives in the Homestead area, and he's very passionate about the program, which we're going to let him talk about, what's called Solutions. And I was very happy to make his acquaintance, knowing that him, as well as other people in our community, are very concerned about what's going on and trying to make a difference. All right. So, definitely want you to talk about what you, Jeff, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for
And
having
we
me.
want you to talk about what your vision is.
Okay, basically, the name of the organization, my name is Jeff Small.
Okay.
The organization is Solutions Community Outreach. And what we basically will be doing, well, let me preface this. The reason I started the organization was due to the fact that on June 20th, 15 shots were pumped through this young man. His name was Jamon Gandhi, I believe. Laid in that street for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
2.5 hours. I had enough time to go home, take a shower, come back, and he's still laying in the street. So I said, something has to be done.
Right.
Something has to be done.
Amen.
And I'm like, well, I got to do something. Now, the Lord had put on my heart years ago, I need you outside of the four walls of the church. And I argued with the Lord. I said, no, you don't want me. I'm not the one for this job. Let somebody else do it. I don't want to be out on Front Street. I don't need my, name out there. But then this happened, changed my whole perspective. So basically I said, we need solutions. So that's what I said. I hear a lot of people that like to talk a lot about what they want to do with these kids. I know I'm not giving up on these kids. And like I said, the things we can do, they're free. They don't cost a whole lot of money. And our mission is basically to bring safety to our neighborhoods through intervention. And it's a cureviolence.organization. That's the template we'll be using for that.
Okay.
Through education. And there's also there's a program they're working on nationally, Every Child Excels Act that's going on right now. We're trying to implement in-school suspension, get rid of the out-of-school suspension, okay? That's a major issue through truancy issues. That's being proactive. I want to be proactive and not reactive. Get these kids before they get to the age of 12 and 13 when it's too late. Then also through the apprenticeship program, we also want to have that too for them set up, because, let me put it this way. I have Bridget Kennedy from Bidwell. She's already on board. She just said, send a few kids over. They basically handle things, medical billing, things of that nature, associate degree programs. And putting all three of those tentacles together, that's our foundation at this point.
All right, now the name of your organization?
Solutions Community Outreach Organization.
Okay. Now you said it's a startup, so it's just starting.
Right.
All right. And when did it start? Have you done anything in the community as of yet, or?
Well, we did have a rally a couple of weeks ago on the 27th, I believe it was, of June, and it rained all day long.
But you still were out there.
We had Plan B. We had a Plan B.
Okay.
I have one of my board members owns a daycare center, which is right next door. So we took it inside.
In the church?
In the church, and we still had about 40 people that showed up, and it was pretty successful. We marched around the neighborhood with the little bullhorn, and like I said, we didn't raise a whole lot of money. We raised a couple dollars, but right now we're in the process of filing our 501c paperwork.
Okay.
So once we get that in, all our I's dotted and T's crossed, we'll be ready to move. I will be speaking to an attorney this week, as a matter of fact, to implement that. To make sure that we have everything correct. So.
And you said at the Homestead area. For the viewing audience, what's the Homestead area like? I mean, on the news lately, as you said, June 20th, there was that guy who got shot a number of times. What's the Homestead community like?
Well, basically the Homestead community is like any other community. You got drugs problems, you got the heroin problem going on, you have a lot of youngsters, like you said, they have schools, alternative schools. Okay. If they have an issue, now they go to these alternative schools for 2 hours a day. Now you got, the parents are still at work when they come home. Now they're walking the streets for 2 or 3 hours with no supervision.
Wow.
So that's a problem right there. Second one is basically shootings, they're not that many. They're far and few between.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know if you're familiar with the cureviolence.org. organization's template, but it works in Chicago, Baltimore, Iraq. They use the same guys from the community to intervene and help squash beefs before they even start. Okay. So
I know there was a program like that years ago. I forget who was running it, where they would try to, if they saw something was going on, they would go out and send people who had a history, and they would come and try to talk to some of the kids before it got bad. So
and then you have the assistance of the police chief. He's on board also. So we would be working hand in hand with police chief on that too.
Okay.
But they told me the reason Pittsburgh's not on the map, they're ranked 40th as far as crime. So it's not on their priority list. So in order to get the training, I will have to go to New York. His name is Frank Rodriguez. He runs that program.
Okay.
So I will be implementing that part of it too. So education, intervention, and apprenticeship.
Okay. Now, how many people are involved so far? And you have a board, or?
Yeah, we have a board of 6 people.
Okay.
And myself, using the 7th, I have about 8 members outside of that.
Okay.
And like I said, we're in the process of collecting dues and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, we have a community day coming up on the 25th, next Saturday.
Okay.
We'll have a booth for that. So all the funds will be going towards our paperwork, actually. The filing. The filing fees. So
I was blessed to be there at the very initial Solutions Rally, the first one. And I was most impressed by the diversity of the community, neighborhoods who trying to people to get involved. Even though that was your first rally, it was great to see mothers, fathers, blacks, whites. The police chief was there. And this problem that we have in our community is touching us as a people because we know we're hurting. And it takes personal accountability to be able to change what's going on in our community. And I'm glad that it's very apparent that it's coming to a head, that we recognize as a people that we must do this for ourselves. That's why I was so impressed by your passion and the vision God's put into your heart, and anything that we can do, Luther and myself, to be able to help you, we're going to be on board.
Appreciate it.
Because the simple fact of you're just doing what God has put into your heart and has put into our heart as well. We have a call.
Yeah. Hey, caller, can you say your name, where you're calling from? Caller, can you say your name, where you're calling from? All right, we'll try to get back to that call. Hey, again, number to call, as you see on the screen, 412-231-2288. Give us a call. We're talking about Solutions, a new program based in Homestead. We're going to try to do some things with them. And we have the director, the founder, Jeffrey Small. So give us a call, 412-231-2288, and get your questions on board. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just saying, because we mentioned what God put in your heart, and you said you had a plan B, but God is the ultimate planner. And when it rained, it didn't rain on what you were trying to do.
Right.
And we had it in the church.
Right.
You know, we had it in the church. And just the energy and synergy that was there for those who are committed to do something, it was quite something to behold. You know, like I said, that's the initial time that I met you. And I told you, I said, well, hopefully there'll be opportunity as soon as we can to be able to get a spotlight on what you're doing. So that's why you're here today. That call us back on. See what
Hey, let's try it one more time. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Yes, my name is Ty Grail.
Hey, how you doing? All right, Ty, thanks for the call, man. It's Lou and Mike, and we have Jeffrey Small on.
For those that don't know, this is Ty Grail. They call him the Vessel, the minister of poetry, and a great dynamic brother. Greetings, Ty. How are you?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Ty. We can hear you. We can hear you, Ty. Hope he gets a chance to chime in.
Well,
Ty.
You guys can hear me. All I'm hearing is echo in my own voice.
Can you hear us, Ty? All right, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties with the phone call, but definitely, one of the great poets of our time. Hopefully he'll call back and he can give us one of his jewels, Mike. Another thing that we've been doing, you said you're trying to get in touch with the churches. Another group that we're involved with, Mad Dads. We definitely like them to come out and give you some support as well. Walking the streets. I was with them. I guess last week we were in East Hills, talking to the community, and that's what you said. We need to be out there. Right. Men need to take advantage and be a strong point of trying to stop this violence, Mike. I mean, that's one of the key things. So many men are just sitting back on a corner while this stuff is going on or participating in it.
And afraid.
And afraid. So we need to step up, take control of the streets, the community, the house, and do what we need to do to be out there. You know what I mean, Mike? Jeff?
And it's a simple solution. Like I have a solution for that, pretty much. Take care of your own house. Like I said, basically, we know these kids that are out here. They're our grandkids, our uncles, our whatever. There's an adult in that household. Okay, they're just a room. They're rooming. They don't pay rent. Not all of them. Now I'm pretty sure some of them are taking care of some business, and that's part of the problem too. But for the most part, they're just roomers. So you need to go in that bedroom when that child is not home. See if you got a gun under that bed. See if there's drugs in that bed, or whatever the case may be. If that's the case, you pick up the number, you call my organization. Don't call the police, and we will intervene at that point. That's a solution. Now we can get in the home and see, now maybe the mom's on drugs or the dad's locked up or whatever the case may be. Now we need to find out how we can maneuver to get through to this kid. Be it through, if I have to take him out to dinner and see where he's coming from one-on-one, that's what we'll do, to see where his head is really at. If it's an issue, let's say they're younger, bullying issue, okay, we need to get a hold of the parent on the bullying side, bring them together, and let's say, look, this is not the solution the way you want to go, and try to squash that at an early age. For the older guys, like I said, the apprenticeship program we would like to implement, that gives them something to do, something constructive to do with their time, rather than, thinking I got to sling all day long, to make $1, okay? Instead of having pride, taking pride in your neighborhood, like you said, if we can get the churches to agree on some things, I'll go into that later on some detail, but taking pride in your community is key one.
Right, you mentioned one thing, Jeffrey, you said, you got to take the initiative. I see a lot of parents that we work with, you can't be their friend, you have to parent.
Right.
You can't be their friend and trying to, no, you got to be a parent. They're doing wrong, you need to approach them and tell them they're doing wrong and take steps to improve it. I mean, you can't go in, you're a parent for a reason, but a lot of people, we have a lot of younger parents now. So you may have a parent who's 15 or 14 or whatever. And so they're not mature themselves. So you're going to have like some kind of a training program as far as
that will fall under our mentorship program.
Okay.
We'll have group sessions, we'll sit them down, go around the room basically and find out where everybody's at and take it from there.
Okay.
Act 33 clearances will be necessary for my
right.
staff. We will have the qualified individuals to handle that.
Okay.
So
now, do you have the back? You said you're trying to get church. Do you have the backing right now? You said you had one. Your first community rally was in a church, so that's one.
Well, that's a daycare actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a church building,
but it's a daycare.
It's a daycare center.
How have the churches reacted?
Well, I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I haven't even approached them yet. I did approach City Council a few weeks ago, and I gave them the pitch of my program, and they were on board with it actually. Superintendent, as a matter of fact, Lloyd Cunningham, the president, and the council president, is trying to schedule a meeting between me and the school board so we can get that underway.
Okay.
But as far as the churches, like I said, I would love to have them on board for the master plan. Like I said, I don't want to go into a lot of detail about that right now, but if that was to materialize, and we can purchase, let's say for example, we could purchase all the land in Homestead, and all the churches agree to that, okay? Now we could take pride in that and hire these same guys that are in the streets that may not be college material, going through an apprentice program, teaching them a trade, electric, plumbing, masonry, whatever the case may be. Now they can take pride and ride by that house they built. Look what I built. Now your community has pride. Now there's no need to sling drugs and talk about this is your block when you don't own anything.
Right. So you have a lot of go ahead, Mike.
Well, like I said, one of the major things that I was so impressed in meeting you is the fact that you are trying in your community to hold accountability in the community that we can do things that make change. So a lot of things are going on, like he just mentioned Mad Dad. We've been involved with him for quite some time. Quite a few people don't know about Mad Dads. You're just getting started. What we want to do, that's why we brought you on today, to let people know what you're doing and entice other people to pick that same ball. And because God's called a lot of people to do the same thing that you finally opened up. Myself was one, Luther's been in the realm for a long time. but to be able to do what we can do to make things change. And we all have abilities and gifts. We need to work together for the common good of our people. We should never expect anybody else to treat us better than we treat ourselves.
Exactly.
So it's even though we understand the underlying problems that was in our community, we can't stand idly by and let things continue to go the way they're going without us doing what we need to do as far as men first, men of God first, and then you said about parents. I'm glad you brought that up because in parenting is the first step. It takes a village to raise a child, but the first village is in the house. So we have to be accountable for our children and their behavior. You know what I'm saying? My main thing with our children should be their education. If I'm showing interest in his education, more than likely, and I'm interested in his education, and it's a trifecta part with schools, the child, the parent, and the teacher. You see? So we have to have things in a certain order, but we out of order. I mean, we're just letting our children, so many of our children aren't even aware today that people died for what they're throwing away today. But that's not their fault if they're not being taught. It's our job as parents, as men, as mentors, to show them the way.
Exactly.
And that's what we have to do.
Exactly. Now, going back to Homestead, I know former Stiller Charlie Batch has done some things. Have you reached out to him? Are you all going to try to partner up?
Yeah, we will be reaching out to Charlie.
Do you know Charlie at all?
I don't know him personally. I'm 15 years older than Charlie, so
Well,
a little bit older than Charlie.
One thing,
but
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like you said, he might be a little older. But I do commend that brother as far as a little bit of time I've been back in Pittsburgh and seeing the positive things he's doing. And I can't say that Charlie's going to do it, but I believe that you might be asked to you. We got another call.
Yeah. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, can you say your name, where you're calling from?
Yes, this is LD from Pittsburgh.
Hey, LD.
What's up,
Thanks
brother?
for the call. Could you hear us?
Yeah, I was calling because the Solutions Program, is it open to other areas like the Braddock, North Braddock, Rankin area?
yes, it is. And we will be expanding all up and down that river, as a matter of fact, once we get set up and going.
Valley.
Oldmont Valley, McKeesport, Duquesne, Braddock, whatever else is on that side of the
But
river.
starting off, you want to hit that
Homestead, I got to
because-
concentrate on Homestead to get it right. We want to get it right first in Homestead. And if you are in Braddock, as a matter of fact, I have a board member from the Braddock area. So yes, we are accepting everyone from everywhere if you're interested. As a matter of fact, I can even give you my phone number too. I forgot.
Okay.
If you want to give me a call, it's 412-977-1246, and I can give you more information as far as meetings and what have you. But yeah, we welcome you, everyone,
That's right.
everybody.
And if it's not in a neighborhood near you, you
will be soon.
Pardon me?
I also want to know, is the mayor of Homestead involved? Because I've seen her on TV and she seems to be pretty active.
Whoa, you got me here. No, she's not, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. The police chief is on board with it, but I had asked the mayor to show up at the rally on the 27th, and she said to me, quote, "We don't need to be marching around. We don't need to be marching around here. We done did all this back." I said, "Look, Betty, I would love for you to show up at the rally. Just show up." She's like, "No, I won't be there. I got something else to do." So I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I hope to see you there," and we left it at that.
So hopefully.
Now, hopefully down the road she will be on board, but right now she's a little reluctant. I don't know why.
You're gonna have to do a little more working on her to get her on board. But she, when she
But
sees
I do
the
have a
positive
police
program,
chief.
right?
I do have him on board, and I have council members on board from Homestead area. So
I find it ironic that the mayor, maybe not being on board now, but this is how we are as a people. We don't really, we're reactive instead of proactive. When once it gets start going on and getting a lot of praise, and I want to be part of that, but the solution is to stop things before it starts and nip it in the bud. And since we see, it's not, we can't even say we nip it in the bud because look how long the detrimental behavior in our community has been going on. We waited too long, but it's never too late to turn it around.
Right. Hey, LD, what are your thoughts? As far as the violence in the community, solutions. Are you involved, and what do you think could be done?
Well, number one, I think I like what the gentleman's trying to do. We need more groups like that. and I just want to make a suggestion to him. If he could get some of the ministers in the area involved, and the reason being, on Sunday morning, they have an audience, and they can always make an announcement, and then that gets out to the community. They don't have to lead the program, but they can get the message out.
We agree with you 100%.
That's good.
And we spoke on that many times about the churches doing something out of the four walls of the church.
Right.
We all see the need for that, and we openly welcome that. But all too often, that's not the case.
Yeah, we definitely got to get the churches more involved, and I think that would be good if you can reach out to the churches and
I will be doing that.
make sure they're announcing about upcoming meetings and any kind of rallies or fundraisers that you may have.
As a matter of fact, we did that for the rally.
Okay.
Second Baptist in Homestead, they didn't make an announcement. I don't know how many other churches did, but yes, I have a pastor, as a matter of fact, on my board. So
Okay.
I am working with the pastors of all areas, McKeesport, Braddock, Homestead. We need everybody. We need everyone.
Yeah.
And you're correct. If we can get the churches on board,
You're ahead of the game.
we
That's
can
the
take
first
care of
step.
ourselves. Like I said, nobody's going to help our community except us. We need to realize that. And that takes churches, schools, parents, uncles, dads, grandmas, grandfathers. Us folks, us.
Right.
Before we can ask for any outside help from anybody else, we have to take care of us.
There you go.
And like I said, we have the finances. We're not as poor as we used to be, black folks. Okay,
We just gotta pull the
we just have the
resources.
we put our resources in the wrong places. That's the
Right.
only difference here. We'll buy $200 Jordans instead of investing the money in a bank or whatever the case may be.
And it's a thing about education.
Right, you have to
and that's
change
what
the
they're trying to do,
intellectual thought process.
change how we're doing things.
Right.
To start doing things that will improve the community, improve neighborhoods, improve housing situations. Hey, LD, anything else you want to add on the conversation? Any current events you want to
I
address?
just want to say that the three of you are doing a great job. And before your guest leaves, if he could give his mailing address in case someone wants to give a contribution,
Okay.
like myself.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
for your
thanks,
support,
Thanks
Al.
for your call.
It's always good hearing your voice. Thank you.
All right. Do we have another call? So, caller, say your name and where you're calling from. All right. Let's jump back on the phone lines. Have we talked about everything that you're trying to do, or what else? Do you want to give her that mailing address or
Yeah, give me
information?
your email address, your phone number,
Phone
contact
number.
information.
Yeah, my mailing address right now, we're looking for a building, but right now it's 253 East 16th Avenue, Homestead, PA, 15120. Phone number 412-977-1246. Again, that phone number is 412-977-1246. And that is my number, Jeff Small, Executive Director. Just give me a call, and I'll be glad to help you out any way I can. And I'm looking forward to hearing from
You
whoever.
have email address as well?
Email, yeah. Oh, my email address?
Facebook, yeah.
Jeff Small 64 .js at gmail.com.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook solutions page. Just go to Facebook, type in solutions, and the page will pop up. We're still working on our website right now, on our website design and application, implementation, and all that good stuff. So,
But yeah, with Facebook, you can reach people not
yeah.
just in this area, but all throughout the world. So
Right.
definitely keep putting your information out there.
Well,
if we can all connect up, like I said, if we can just unify.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm not the only one doing this. I'm
Right,
pretty sure.
right.
But
There's-
we unify across the city.
It's easier said than done.
I
but we
know,
have to
I know.
start if you
You're right,
You
you're
you
right.
go one block at a time, and then
Exactly.
go get another block
Exactly.
and another block. Before you know it, you got a whole neighborhood. Then you can just branch out. But
Well, I was there at that initial meeting, and I do believe that your community is receptive and appreciative of what you're trying to do. And I do believe that you're going to have a lot of people behind you in what you're doing because, first of all, your message is infectious and your passion for what you're doing. And it's definitely needed throughout the region of Pittsburgh, throughout our country, especially in our communities. So for the little span of time that you've been doing, you've been moving, God has been moving
Yes, he has.
in a wonderful way in your behalf. And so again, I want to commend you on what you're trying to do and what you're going to do, because when we make a commitment to do God's work, nothing can stop us. We just have to be committed and diligent in doing His work, and that's all it takes.
right. And one more thing. Now, I know you want to affect the youth. Or do you have any youth members that you're going to put on your board, or is there actively one?
We got to go get them. I'm trying.
Okay.
I've been in contact with a few of them, man. It's hard. It's like pulling teeth,
Right. I know how they. But I think once you get one,
Right,
you got to
right.
get the right one.
Exactly.
But I think once they see one, because a lot of times we'll come up with things, for kids, and we really didn't get their input at all.
Right.
But I think maybe getting one, maybe a senior, someone
Key
on the
point.
right track.
That's another
right
key
track.
point.
I think that would be very helpful.
Listening is the key point to these kids too. See, a lot of people like to preach to these kids.
Right.
They
But you
bad.
get one on that board.
All you need is one,
There you
and
go.
listen to what's going on out. Listen to them.
Right.
Okay, and now we can solve the problem. Because
Exactly.
we want to, like I said, talk at the kids. Past is the past.
Right.
Okay, we are where we are, and we need to move forward. That's what this organization is looking. I don't care what you did. Look, I'm trying to better your life right now, today. You have choices and consequences.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
There's only, you pick up that gun, you only got 2 consequences.
Right.
Death or jail. Whereas if you come through this program, you got hundreds of consequences that can come through. Okay, so basically it's like you said, we need to have an intellectual civil war within our own community and outside community.
Right.
Changing the way, the thought process of
Exactly.
how black folks feel, the way we feel. It's stressful being a black man.
That's
You
true.
can imagine with these kids, it's 100
Exactly.
times. Okay,
Exactly.
you got generations and generations of poor, and now they don't see another way out.
Now we got to break, like you said, we got to break the cycle.
Break the cycle.
Break the cycle.
That's
So once you know, you can go out and teach others, and I think that's wonderful what you're doing, and we definitely are going to be behind it. Again, give them a call, 412-977-1246. Great program. We think it's going to do great things in Homestead and throughout the city of Pittsburgh, but he needs help right now. So if you're able to help him in any kind of way, if you're in the Homestead area, have family there, go out to a couple, and you said the 25th, July 25th
25th is Community Day.
Is the community day out
Saturday.
there. Okay.
And you can also take the template that he's set up here to see the need in your community.
Exactly.
You can step up in your community to make a big difference.
Right.
Exactly. Hey, sticking to that positivity, one thing I want to get on, and as far as image, is Serena Williams. Really, I think she's one of the top athletes, and she should really be a role model. But every time she wins, there's so much negativity about her, and it makes no sense to me. I mean, we're looking at one of the greatest, maybe the greatest female athlete of all time.
Well,
she's second in victories, and she presents herself well. I'm a big fan. I'm the biggest fan. We run some of her clips real quick, and we can just get some of our thoughts on that. But I mean, she's unstoppable. Mike, Jeff, what are your thoughts, man? It just upsets me.
Already
Mike, what's your thoughts?
I smile because it doesn't surprise me at all. Whenever we have undeniable excellence, no matter what endeavor we're in, we always have got feedback. There's always been something to denounce your greatness. I mean, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. Undoubtedly, if she had been of another persuasion, there would be no question her always being talked about how great she is, how great. I mean, you wouldn't hear such negative stuff. She looks like a man and things of that nature.
I don't see that at all. I see that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, listen,
Beautiful.
they into the same sex thing there, but that'll be my man, all right?
Yes, it would be.
But anyway, I mean, like that type of stuff there, but that just to go is another example of the apparent racism that runs rampant within our country. So that doesn't surprise me because I deal with it every day, you know, and the negative things, you can stem off to that, to the Bill Cosby incident that's going on now, being him guilty or not guilty. It's just the negative type of energies that's always planted. That seed is always being planted, the negativity around people. So, I mean, you just got to understand nature of the beast.
Right. And I thought that New York, I think it was the New York Post, the New York Times article about Serena was one of the worst things I've read in a long time.
Disturbed me too.
It was very disturbing. I'm like, is this 2015? This is one of the greatest we've seen.
Okay.
She works hard. But I know what you're saying, Mike, but we have to address it head on. I mean,
I
you're
agree
supposed to
with
be
you.
a mainstream paper, and you write something that you would, you would have seen back in the 50s or 40s.
But see, what you fail to realize is what's the difference between 2015 and 2014, the year before. I mean, it's always we haven't addressed the problems with racism in this country. And until you get it talked about from the heads of government, it's going to always be there, because that's what trickles down to even the killing in Charleston. That comes because we're not dealing with race as an issue. You're not dealing with race as an issue in a way. I mean, because of the simple fact, we really talk about it truthfully, you got to always talk about reparations. America don't have reparations to pay us.
That's part of the problem.
No, America can't have reparations to pay us. But even a national apology, you're not going to get. So whenever, and then too, from the mass media. When the mass media, when everything that's about us is put on in a negative spin, you're going to have our youth feeling inferior, and another youth, their youth thinking that white privilege type of thing that they're dealing with every day. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but I've got to the point not where I accept it, but it doesn't surprise me because I deal with this on a daily basis. I think I made you much more aware of the subtleties of white privilege, and ironically or not, sometimes they're not even aware of it because they never had to deal with things that you got to deal with of being watched when you're going to a store, or even when they put cops on TV. Look at the difference how you're patrolled and treated and how they are. You get the young man that killed the people in South Carolina, killed 9 people, got apprehended and got taken to Burger King because he was hungry. But someone black didn't do anything.
In the back of a van, I'm sure he was hungry too.
He got killed. So there's those type of different types. So if you're talking about something that traumatic, them name calling, that's subtle. They haven't done nothing to it. They like to hang her if they could.
Well, I think we're at a time right now, racism is being discussed openly, and that's encouraging to me. My wife went to the doctors the other day, the 2 white doctors talking about the flag issue. Okay, now the flag to me is not that big of an issue. Like you said, we have other issues that are more important, but they were going at it and she overheard him saying, well, maybe we are racist. And I'm like, really? Okay. And then the other doctor didn't say another word after that. I've had conversations myself. Right now, like I said, what we need to do with white folks is just have an intellectual conversation, civil war, intellectual civil war, you might say. Understanding, putting themselves in our place. If they've gone through, why do they feel that privilege is a necessity for them in every aspect of our lives?
Because that's what...
And it is not. But like you said, Serena, just take that for example. Sharapova, the girl she beat, all right, skinny. Okay, she makes more money in endorsements
25 million
than
to
Serena, who was number 1. That's not right. But yet and still they'll put Botox and everything else to try to look like Serena. I don't understand it, but yet, you know, you chastise her for the way she looks. Same with police brutality too, like you said.
But I wanted to ask you something. You said something that perked my ears up. You said racism was being talked about, but there was 2 things you said. You said they talked about it. One person, she said maybe we are racist. That was just a statement. Maybe we are, so what? And then the other one didn't say anything at all. So they might have brought it up. But I'm talking about the ramifications and the differences, the differences overall. And we got to recognize, as far as it even says so in the thing, that united we stand, divided we fall. That's what's wrong in this country. You know what I'm saying? If black folks, now you talk about solutions, and this is why the only way to deal with people who don't treat you fairly is on a monetary aspect. Now, if black folks recognize that we're not a poor people, we make poor decisions with money, that if we use our money as a true tool to help propel ourselves and dealt with other people according to how you treat them, you can't get my money if you don't treat me right.
And
that's the way to deal with it.
Exactly. That's why, before we take this phone call, that's why the boycotts in Montgomery were so effective.
There you go.
And that's why with the situation with Donald Trump, he made that statement. And it was like the Mexicans, they went in the code and they punished them. I mean, he's been taking hit after hit after hit because they're punishing them economically.
And you know what? What I like about Hispanics? Hispanics is, not saying unforgiving, they don't forget. You just give me a little lip service over. First of all, he doesn't have the ability to run a country. He ran his company into the ground. He's been bankrupt 3 times.
Millions of times.
Okay, he's a perfect example of white privilege. He's a perfect example of that. But what I'm saying is, as far as Hispanics and smart Republicans are going to distance themselves from him further because they can't afford that. They need a Hispanic vote or they'll never win.
Right, right. But that's how you deal with somebody.
But
everybody goes in and you affect them economically.
And there you go.
I've had conversations where, you know, someone sits up, hey, Timberlands, you know, and they say, well, he don't want me to wear them, I'll buy more. You know, but the way to punish them is economically.
See, it takes unity.
It takes unity, exactly.
Our folks won't unite.
We haven't done it in a while. We have done it before.
We have did it before.
But
and the thing about it is, we can't harp on what we didn't do. We need to see what we need to do and address that. Because what it is, like you said, the biggest thing is for us to change in our mindset, understanding what taxes that we need to do to go forward, and recognize, like I said before, no one can help us other than ourselves. No one's going to treat us better than we treat ourselves. Once that is our aim and our agenda, and we explain it, then you have an avenue to travel.
Right. We have to get back to doing it. Let's jump to the phone lines. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
This is JD.
This is who?
Jay.
Hey, Jay, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to say I'm glad that your show's back on.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. Keep watching. Check out the website.
Okay.
You have any thoughts on what we were talking about?
No.
All right, Jay. Thanks for the call.
It's always good hearing your voice, man.
Thank you.
We know because of young brothers like you, we got a positive future because of good brothers like you.
Keep
up the good work.
Keep on. Staying on the right track.
You're going to see to that.
Yeah. All right, thanks for the call, Jay.
You're welcome.
All right. Listen, a lot of things we hit on, and
let's go to a little in depth about different types of things, like such as the flag. That flag's been a symbol of hatred. We know what it's about. But if you can take down all the flags across this country, but if you don't change the hatred in your heart, it's still there.
Right.
It's still there. But the difference is this. You won't see them flying a flag from Nazi Germany and it'll be accepted. So that's the difference.
Exactly. It shouldn't even be a question.
See, that's the type
There's one flag.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want to defend their heritage,
and
which is
then,
terrible heritage.
Now, when you go back to heritage, what are you looking at? You're talking about your past.
Exactly.
Now, if you're saying you're proud of that past, lynching, antebellum slavery, that's one thing.
Chattel
It shouldn't even be
still prevalent today.
Exactly. It shouldn't even be a discussion. That's totally ridiculous. And you bring that up. One of my favorite scholars, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he touched upon it. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. In fact, has a conference coming up in August that I'm trying to get to. But Boyce Watkins, went on about the Confederate flag and how offensive it is, how it should be offensive not only to us three, but anybody in the United States. Can we run that real quick? That piece for Dr. Boyce.
State House. You saw that there was just kind of this tidal wave of people kind of addressing this Confederate flag issue right after the shooting that took place in Charleston, South Carolina. Personally, I thought that was good progress. One thing I didn't like seeing necessarily was the way people kind of pushed for calm and peaceful responses to just this unspeakable violence. Personally, I don't think that you should tell people how to react. I don't think that the people in Charleston should be forced to do what other outside leaders are telling them to do. I think that they should be able to make their own decision. And if people feel like they got to pick up a gun to protect themselves, ain't nothing really wrong with that. I mean, it's kind of bad when you're constantly taught to be peaceful when other people are being violent. I'm not saying people should be violent. I'm saying that you should do what you need to do to protect the people that you care about. Now, when it comes to the Confederate flag, getting the Confederate flag taken down, I mean, that is a no-brainer. I mean, the Confederate flag is the swastika for black people. One of the things that black people don't really believe, and again because our self-esteem can be kind of low, is that we're taught to kind of forget about history. We're taught to forget about slavery, forget about Jim Crow, forget about mass incarceration, pretend like those things didn't happen, pretend like those things don't really affect us. In fact, there was a study that showed that when they surveyed white people, white people truly believe on average that black people feel less pain than other people do. So when you feel like something feels less pain, like an animal, and when you're thinking like, oh, it's just a pig. I mean, the pig's gonna be okay. You're not really concerned about the pain the pig might go through when you cut the pig's throat. But when you think about, say, like a dog, when people connect with dogs, they empathize with dogs. They're not gonna let a dog go through what a pig goes through. You can kill a pig and not get in trouble, but you kill a dog, you can get as much time in prison as you get for killing a man. So basically, black pain is typically minimized. People don't really feel it. People tell us about history and say, oh, forget about it. It's not a big deal. It's the past is the past. But you're talking about 400 years. You're talking about 400 years of the worst kind of oppression. I'm talking about not beyond homicide. You're talking about rape, extreme humiliation, lynchings. Is all these incarceration was a given. It's still happening today, actually. So our pain is real. And racism teaches us to act like it doesn't exist. And I would say that so what this translates into is the fact that they can wave this damn Confederate flag in our face. This flag that represents, look, we want you Negroes to be in prison. We want you Negroes to be enslaved. We don't want you to have your freedom. That's what that flag really represents. I mean, don't get me wrong. It might represent some other stuff, some other traditions and heroes and all that. And I mean, it is what it is, but I'm sorry. The main thing it represents is the idea that the South wanted to succeed from the Union so they could just enslave black people forever and never be questioned about that. So should the flag be taken down? Absolutely. I'm glad people are pushing to get it taken down. I think it does actually mean something. It's not everything. I mean, there's a whole lot more stuff they need to do. But getting that flag taken down is something that just absolutely has to happen. And there's really no way to defend it. Even staunch Republicans are saying, take the flag down. Let's just get that off the table because it's hard to defend this thing now. So I think it's a good thing. I think overall, is racial healing happening in America the way it should and at the pace it should? No, because it's not. Because America is a country that lives in complete denial about racism. America is a country. It's actually, according to most statistics, America is one of the most racist countries on the planet. If you look at our incarceration system, our economic system, and our educational systems, basically what you have in America is you have a two-tier society. You have apartheid. You have the average white living here, the average black person living here. That's why average white family wealth is about 20 times greater than average black family wealth. The better schools tend to be in white neighborhoods than in black neighborhoods. On incarceration, black people are incarcerated many times more often than white people are. So basically, when you look at all these systems combined, somebody looking at America from the outside is basically saying, what's wrong with this country? I mean, what's wrong with you people? You guys have a lot of issues to fix, but somehow you see yourselves as the beacon of hope and justice and freedom, and so you don't believe you have any problems. When the fact of the matter is that if you travel around the world, I encourage you to go around the world for yourself. Don't read propaganda or watch the media to tell you what it's like to be in countries like Africa and other places, because it's not like that. And when you get there, what you're going to find is that the way those countries operate, the way they treat their citizens, the way black people are treated is very, very different from what you see in the United States. But because you may not have seen anywhere else, you may think that this is all there is and that it's okay. Believe me, it's not okay. There is a problem, and maybe one day we'll get the courage to talk about this problem. But I'm talking to you about it right now. So I appreciate the fact that you are conscientious enough and you are intelligent enough that you are sitting here listening to me have this conversation with you. And I want you to leave your comments and I want you to join in on the conversation, because we're going to push forward and we can get there if we really try. Well, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth. Shout out to Vlad TV. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I am gone. Peace.
Peace. Like, I'd like to speak on one issue that he said,
Right.
that it was stated that white people feel black folks don't have the same threshold for pain, that we can take pain more. You know what I'm saying? So look how long, he said 400 years, we've been in consistent pain. Mm-hmm. And I submit to you, like Ty didn't get a chance to get it in, that was him on the first phone call. Right. But he's often spoke to me that recognize this about one problem in our community. Hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you're hurting, you see what I'm saying? Then he also elaborated on the difference, the disparity between the economic base in their home and schooling. Mm-hmm. If you go to a school where you got poor service, poor educational, how do you get out of this? How do you get out of this? So
Poor teachers,
you see what I'm
poor
saying?
quality, no books.
The
Yeah,
other
there's a
thing
lot of
is,
things.
the only time that we really value as a people, and we've been in 10 of them, is in wars. Blacks have served honorably in this country, in every war. The first person to die for this country revolutionary was a black man.
Right.
Okay? Now, this type of, then even up until World War II, racism, prejudice, we weren't even allowed in the same barracks. It took Eleanor Roosevelt, people on the champions for our type of rights to acknowledge it. Now look at the situation between the flag. Now this flag should have been down.
Right, right.
If the young man had pictures of him did that propel
Right,
this
right.
conversation?
But I think it's more, that's a deflection. I mean, it needs to be
That's all
done, but
it
that's
is.
a deflection, you know, because the situation is, you know, he acted upon not just the flag, it was that mentality.
Yes.
You know, that's the mentality that has to die.
Right.
That we have to get
You
rid
see
of.
what I'm saying?
But the deflection is, oh, we'll take down the flag. But that's not going to change everything
There
that's
you go.
wrong.
The only
That's
way-
a start.
Yeah.
The only way going to change, and here's a solution, basically, for white folks, reverse the Voting Rights Act, okay, that they're trying to dismantle right now. That would be a sign that they're listening and willing to do some work. Education, restore all the educational cuts in all poor communities. And the only reason we have these poor communities are because, guess what? White folks want to feel safe, okay? So they figured we were all criminals and thugs, and which is false. But that narrative has to change. And like I said, that's why you have your poor communities now. Now you got generations and generations, 400 years of being separate, okay? Now, the solution again would be take our resources that we do have in these communities, bring them together in our communities. Churches, like I said, the only major resource we have are churches at this point. Yes, some people work, yes, but we need big revenue in order to do what we need to do. It's gonna take money. From us. Like I said, we can't ask anyone outside our community right now. They don't understand. Like you said, white folks are on a whole different level, okay? When it comes to money, like you said, their wealth is 20 times ours, okay? So like I said, they feel privileged for whatever reason that they must have everything that we invent, every patent that we have and everything that we use, they must have it. They have that. But it's a mindset. Again, we have to change the mindset, and that's
Right.
going to be hard to do. It ain't
Right,
going
but,
to be easy to
you-
do.
You're right.
And
Not
when you
even
talk
with our
about-
folks.
Right.
We got
When you
racism
talk about the-
within our own community too.
Right, right.
So-
When you talk about the
Not
churches,
racism.
like I think you said it before, Mike, we have to have these churches open up more. You know, there's a gap in education. The schools are not getting it done right now. So we have to open the churches
Have
up.
alternatives for
After
education.
after hours,
programs.
after school programs, we have to do that and start educating. We have to have somewhere safe for these kids to go. So many kids now don't even go outside and play.
Right.
You know,
Don't have no porch.
they're too scared, so they stay and play video games. So we have to have the churches open up, not only as educational, but for recreational activities.
go.
You know, more than just Sunday. I'm calling all the churches to do that. I mean,
One thing
it needs
that
to happen.
I
Now
do
this-
want to express as far as the situation, as far as not putting the blame, all total blame on white people.
Right.
On white people. We have to have accountability. What goes on in
Us
our
first.
community, okay, like the negative behaviors in our community, because, matter of fact, one of the poems I did about a snitch was written for us to see the asinine behavior that comes behind not, the word snitching. We have to be accountable for and stop the negative things that's going on in our community. We see some things going on, you just can't turn a blind eye to it. Even beyond as far as not snitching. To live in a neighborhood, in a blight area, no one makes you throw garbage down, don't cut your grass. Those type of things, like you said, is a mindset, but it also changes your aspiration for hope. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you spend 24 hours doing positive things will happen. We spend a lot of time talking about instead of doing, talking about what we could have did, what we should have did. Just take one step at a time, and everybody look in the mirror and do what you can do to
Take
make
care
a
of your block.
difference.
Block by
Like
block.
he said, you know what I'm saying? So what we proposing is not asking for $1 million. It's asking for you to do what you can do to make things better for your people.
And
We
like
have
you
a
said,
call.
like you said before we go to this call, not everybody, you know, can get out there and like for Mad Dads in March, but everybody can get out there and mentor a kid or
There you go.
get out and you know, make sure the church is open to help someone else. Everybody can do something. We have to make it a priority. You know, right now priorities are wrong. Hey, but let's take this other call. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Pittsburgh.
All right,
my brother.
All right, what's on your mind?
Well, you know, I recently moved to Pittsburgh back in December, and I was very optimistic when I first moved to Pittsburgh. Then I started getting around the city and started looking at things, how they was working, going to a couple meetings, meeting new people, interacting with city leaderships and community. And the big thing that I get as well is that the African American community goes out and asks everybody to do for them what they are capable of doing for themselves. And then that goes right back to the slave national mentality, because we don't practice group economics enough in this.
I agree
We don't
with you.
support each other in things that we do for ourselves in the community. We always look outside the community, someone else
That's right.
do for us, we do for ourselves.
We
And
support
the
each other.
bigger, and then that just sends the wrong message to our youth. It sends the wrong message to a lot of people.
Right.
And mostly white people. They don't understand why y'all don't even do this for your own stuff when you come to us for us to do this for you.
It's true.
Hey, you brought up some good points. Your phone was breaking up a little bit, but he does,
It's about
definitely.
group economics. We talk about that.
All
We
the
talk
time.
about that a number of times, as far as, like I just said, as far as recognizing that we're not a poor people, that we get close
Invest
to $1
your
trillion.
money correctly.
We have to spend our money as a tool. You know, but the biggest thing we need to do as a people is not spend our money with everybody other than ourselves.
Exactly.
The quickest thing that we do is take the money out of our community. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your points, but you're 100% right. As far as, but not as far as I don't agree that we go begging other people to do stuff for us. There's certain type of things that aren't done for us in the community that we even pay for. You know what I'm saying?
Don't cut it.
You know, that we even pay for. And things about you, you treat as second-class citizens. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Brad,
Well,
if you look at
I don't
Brad,
want-
go ahead, brother.
But I'm getting to the point. Blacks in America in a real life monopoly game. We're in a real life monopoly game, and we don't understand the seriousness of what the situation we are economically. On the eve of the Civil War in 1863, blacks had 1/2 of 1% of all of us in America.
Yep.
Flash, 2015, blacks still have 1/2 of 1% of all of
You're
us
right.
in
We've
America.
heard
familiar-
it
we're
with
familiar
Claude Anderson.
Yeah, we're familiar with Claude Anderson's work, brother, and you're 100% right. That we understand the aspect of total wealth right now, and more blacks right now incarcerated in the penitentiary than they were in slavery.
Yeah, yeah.
We were with all that. But we're
labor.
talking about solutions later for what is the problem. We're here trying to
Solutions right
address
now. Right.
what can we do to make things better. And we're merely saying is,
Well, money does that.
pardon me?
Money changes where you live. Money changes what type of schools you can go to. Money dictates so many different things.
Of
Do you
course,
have a choice where to spend that money?
listen. I believe you're saying what we're saying. Yes, money is important. You live in a capitalist society. Yes, money is important. And in order for us to get forward, yes, we have to pull our money economically to get certain things that we need, to support our businesses. Yes. I mean, we're pretty much saying the same thing.
And you
That
definitely
is the
saying-
most
go ahead,
important
let-
thing we
let
can
him
say.
finish. Let me go ahead, brother.
Let me give you a quick example about that.
What he said?
It was a program they had going called sending our kids to go see film. Okay, I own a multi-million-dollar T-shirt embroidery company. I printed all these T-shirts for free for the kids to go see Selma for the movie. Then they ordered more tickets and they used another vendor. Black folk did this. I'm
That was a
black
certain
businessman.
That was a certain segment. Hey, I agree. That was a certain segment that definitely I disagree
Brother,
with
we
that.
run into that all the time. That's like you said, the kind of crab in the barrel mentality. But we can't just paint a broad brush with all blacks. You just got here, like I said, I don't know where you said you came from. I'm just coming back in the city myself. You're going to find the cliquish and clannish mentality that we have. But like you said, you saying the exact same thing, we're agreeing with you because it's a matter of changing our mindset.
Right.
We've been conditioned over 400 years to depreciate
grateful.
ourselves, you understand, devalue ourselves, and then you're dealing with constant bombardment from negative images from the media.
Right.
This
There's
can
a whole lot of
propel this.
issues, man. We
It's a lot of
thank you for the
issues,
call, man, but
hey,
we
listen,
have to get out of here.
We would like to continue this dialogue with you because you got a lot of great points. We thank you for your call.
Yeah. Leave your number, man. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you, but we're almost out of time. But you brought up a lot of good points.
He did.
Man.
He
But-
did.
But real quick, as we wrap up, only 2 minutes. Thanks for the call. Again, Jeff, give your information out, phone number, Facebook page, and website as we close up real quickly.
All right. My name is Jeff Small, Executive Director of Solutions Community Outreach Organization. The address is 253 East 16th Avenue, Homestead, PA, temporarily. Website, my email is jeffsmall64.js@gmail.com. Facebook Solutions. Just type in the word solutions and you'll see our page come up on that. Okay. I would appreciate all the support that you have for us. We're just getting started.
Phone number?
412. My phone number is 412-977-1246.
Mike,
Hey,
real quick.
I want to always leave what I do with a poem. It's going to be a brief one, and it's what we're dealing with. It's our mentality. So this poem is called "Today's Slaves." That brother mentioned something in 1863. In 1863, that's right. 1863, we were supposed to be free. See what I'm saying? 1863. Matter of fact, we're short of time. I know I won't get a chance to get it in. I'll share that some other time.
yeah,
I'm looking at the time here. But I want to share that today's slaves, our mentality hasn't changed that much from
changed
that
at all.
time.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Still got the
we
house.
Got to change it. I want to thank all the calls for calling in. Check out the website, scsportsworld.com, for Mike Vick, for Jeff Small, and Luther Dupree. Thanks for calling in, and get started. Let's support this brother. Let's support positive community activities, and we'll check you out next time.
Thanks for being on the
Thank you
show,
very much.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Great
So,
job.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get a chance to get that poem.
Yeah.
So I said, stop.
Much time.